The OKC Thunder have won Game 7 of the NBA Finals 103-91. Let's talk about it. Before we get into the game, I have to address the obvious. And I know everyone's talked about this already, but just wanted to get my take out there. Very unfortunate what we saw last night. I mean, again, heading into a Game 7. It's the first Game 7 in 9 years. I was so excited, personally, as a fan. I mean, neither of my teams are even in this game. And, you know, this is the most excited I've been for basketball. And I'd say arguably those 9 years. Maybe there's a couple games here and there that I've been a little bit more excited for. Some that have contained, you know, my team. But other than that, it's got to be up there. I mean, just the anticipation since, what was it, Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night to just, you know, get to this point. I'm ready. You know, I'm about to sit down. And I'm watching a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And for all that to end within, the first 5-ish minutes or whatever it was just brutal. It was brutal. And just seeing him fall down like that, it was almost like someone like had a sniper and shot him or something. Like, it was just brutal seeing him fall like that. And he knew. And just seeing his reaction, you knew he wasn't coming back. I mean, that was really, really hard to watch. Like, it's probably the most gut-wrenched I've ever been watching sports. And the reaction didn't hit me as much in the moment. I mean, I was definitely down bad. And, you know, I was obviously feeling it for Haliburton. But I was, I guess, a little bit more focused on the game in a way. But I don't know, especially waking up this morning. Like, I woke up this morning and was like, I feel almost not unsatisfied, but I just feel down. I feel not depressed, but sad. I just fell off, and I think it was 100% due to just seeing this guy down and injured in, you know, the biggest moment. He's literally sacrificing his body with that calf strain, ends up tearing his Achilles. You know, this could be potentially career-ending stuff here, all to go play in Game 7 in the biggest moment, so he doesn't let down his team, and the unthinkable happens, and he gets hurt, and the team eventually isn't able to battle back, and they lose. I mean, it's pretty much the worst possible outcome we could have gotten last night. Other than a blowout, it was the worst possible outcome, I think, that we could have got, and we ended up getting it. And it's just unfortunate. I really feel for Haliburton. I already said he was a warrior for playing in these last two games, specifically Game 6 and the performance that he put up in Game 6. But, man, he has just so much respect for me. I don't think I'll ever not respect him now. And he's already made me a fan through these playoffs, but I'm 100% a fan for life of Haliburton just because, again, you're putting your body on the line, you're putting your career on the line, all to do this in that moment. And to see that he was balling out, too. He already had 9 points. He was looking aggressive as well. That's what I was loving about his game in the beginning of it was, okay, it's early, but this guy's not afraid to take shots. And he was taking those deep threes, those threes that really make you feel it. Those threes that go, oh my God, is it not our night? And you could see he was striking fear into the OKC crowd. It was tense. It was everything you wanted it to be. And again, just like a blink of an eye, it was over just like that. And again, it's just unfortunate, very unfortunate. I really feel for him. I hope he heals up. But now he's out for a year plus. And the Pacers, I just don't even know what you're thinking right now as a Pacers fan. What are you guys thinking? If there are any that are watching this video, you lose your best player, and it happened so early in the game, and just, I don't know. I'm curious to how you guys are feeling, because I don't know how you'd be able to even, I don't know. I just, as a sports fan, I know I would be devastated. You lose in Game 7 in the finals, and you lose in that fashion. I don't know how you come back from that, but credit to you guys, but let's get into the game. After that, both teams battled. Surprisingly, OKC looked like the more scared team after that injury. Indy kept playing their brand of ball, and OKC was the one that was like, guys, what are you guys doing? I know that the injury can throw things off, and I was almost expecting them maybe to get too comfortable. They almost looked too tight. It was weird. But Indy kept battling, and they actually took the game into halftime up 1, and I was like, okay, so we have a game here. Are we going to get a classic Pacers game where even no Haliburton, and they still battle in this game? And that's what they did. I would say the game was still tight throughout the third quarter. TJ McConnell did a great job of battling through that. He just pretty much was able to just hit all these one-on-ones, whether he was taking these crazy layups that somehow went in or was just kind of dribbling off guys and was shooting jump shots. He was really getting his way to the basket, and I really loved what I saw from McConnell last night in that third quarter. My only issue with that third quarter was no one else scored for the Pacers for like 8 10 minutes or something like that, and that even extended, I think, into the fourth quarter as well. I just didn't like that. You don't want to see that. You need other guys to still get involved. Also, I didn't like the amount of minutes that they played Siakam specifically in that third quarter. I felt like he should have been playing almost the entire game. I know it's a little hard to expect out of a guy, but he's got to be your primary scorer once Haliburton goes down, and I just don't think they got him enough minutes, especially, again, when TJ was on the court. And you don't want to take away from TJ, but at the same time, he should have been out there. It's Game 7. Unload the clip. We have nothing else to play for after this, so why not just put him out there? Again, it's not like he's a net negative. He's your best, he's your second best player on the team. So I didn't really understand that move from Rick, but the game ended up going into the fourth. A little back and forth here and there, but eventually OKC started to pull away, and that was thanks really due to the big three all coming up clutch. SGA was getting to the line consistently. Chet with some huge blocks down low. He had 5 blocks last night. And Jalen Williams started to wake up in that third quarter and really was starting to hit some big shots in the fourth as well. He started to make his mark on the game, and it just became too much for Indiana. Just the lack of scoring down the stretch, it was too much. Even though OKC kept not being able to put him away, and the Pacers kept fighting. I mean, it was a 10-point game at one point, I think, or something like that. But it really was never a real game. And again, just unfortunate the way that things went, but still, congratulations to the Thunder. What a season. And again, it's just congratulations to you. It sucks that stuff happened to you in the seventh game, but at least if there is a way to even spin this in a positive light, is that this injury at least happened in the 7th game. If this would have happened in Game 1 and we would have had to hear the entire series how, oh, this championship is an asterisk, this, that. Like, look, if people say that for this argument, I'm going to rebuttal with, look, yes, of course, losing Haliburton is almost a death sentence in Game 7, but at the same time, Haliburton was healthy in Game 2. He was healthy in Game 4, and the Pacers, they lost both those games. Specifically, that Game 4, they blew it. They blew it, and they could have gone up 3-1, and I talked about that in my video. You don't lose that game and feel good about that one because you could have changed the series so much. But instead, they made it 2-2, and they let Oklahoma City come back and retake that. So they had chances, and I don't want to hear that from people, but obviously you can't ignore it. Haliburton would have been a huge factor in Game 7, but still, credit to OKC. They really do deserve it. It's been a fantastic season for the whole staff and the players. SGA ends up winning Finals MVP. He averaged 30 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game. He's actually the first player in 25 years to win MVP in the same season and Finals MVP. That was really interesting to me. I'm surprised that hasn't occurred before, but we just haven't seen that, I guess, at least in the last 25 years. And, I haven't been watching basketball that long. So, it was just curious to see that. But, congrats to SGA. Again, he deserved it. I did think he was the best player in the series. Now, there were some games where he did not have the greatest games, but still, he got it done when it mattered most. And I know people will hold that against him, but at the end of the day, it's not about looking pretty out there. It's just about getting it done, and he got it done. I mean, the Thunder are hosting they're hoisting the trophy, so there's only so much you can say, and he deserves that. So, again, congrats to SGA on the Finals MVP. And again, I said it, but congrats to OKC. And this is more for their fans and the organization in general, but it can still be about the players as well. Again, from losing to the Heat with Harden, KD, and Russ, to coming up short against Golden State all those years, to dealing with Durant leaving and going to Golden State, to then trying to make things work with PG and Russ and just having to accept that it's not working and rebuilding, and to now finish the rebuild with the championship when the guys are this young. It's just absolutely crazy to me. You would have thought this rebuild was going to be way longer the way people were talking about it. No, that's not what happened. Honestly, you can make the argument if they beat Dallas last year, maybe they even go a little farther. And that was the expectation last year. They just fell short, which was pretty typical because they were a younger team, blah, blah, blah. But they were still young this year, and they, in my opinion, got over a lot of demons. That series against Denver, even though they were clearly the better team, they went against a team with a lot of championship pedigree, and they had to battle, and they grew up in that Game 7. I still remember that. I think it was, that second quarter where they had a ton of momentum, and they just got it done. Obviously, they did very well against Minnesota. They got them in 5. And then, yes, was this series a little bit more difficult than people were expecting? 100%. But you also were going against now, looking back, an all-time team. At least that went on an all-time run and they just had some insane momentum. So it's just kind of hard for me to kill them and say, oh, the Pacers were such a bad team compared to OKC. Yes, OKC was 100% the better team, but now seeing what we've seen the last 2 months and even longer with how Indiana finished the season, it's really hard for me to say that Indiana was by far, not a terrible team, but just that they were completely outclassed by OKC. OKC, again, was the better team, but the storylines heading into this series, they don't really reflect on how, I think, close it really was when we look at these teams, at least when they play on the court together. I think this OKC team is going to be around for a very long time. I'm not sure how they're going to keep everyone with all the money stuff and just the CBA. That stuff we're going to have to monitor this offseason, just with the rest of the league. But hey, they're at least going to have Jalen Williams and Chet for a couple more years with SGA. And what's crazy is this team's only getting better. This team's young. They're still super young. Chet still has an offensive game to develop. Jalen Williams can still be a more consistent scorer. SGA, he can still be a little bit more consistent in other areas as well, potentially getting players more involved when things get tight. Just little things here and there. There's so many things that this team can focus on. They also have the number 7 overall draft pick. They have options. They have a lot of guys on that team as well. Obviously, Lou Dort. You still have Caruso, Hartenstein. Those guys are a little older. You have also Case and Wallace. Isaiah Joe. I'm forgetting some names, but Wiggins. These are guys that make plays for the team, and it's just interesting to me to think about. Okay, where can this team go? And I feel like we have this discussion every single time a team wins a championship, but at the same time, this team really is that young. They're the youngest team to win a NBA Finals in 40 years, which is just crazy when you think about it. And again, we'll see how things go with the cap space. But if they can maximize this window and even get another championship in the next 2 or 3 years, I consider that a win. So, yeah, we'll see what OKC does. But, man, just a crazy run for them, especially just coming back from being so bad over the last couple of years with this rebuild and to actually fully fulfilling it. I think it's by far one of the best rebuilds we've ever seen in sports. And last is just a thank you to the Pacers in general. I never really had any emotional tie to the Indiana Pacers, as a team. I'm not, in Indiana. I have no relation to them. My team is in the Eastern Conference as well, so I wouldn't be rooting for them. But I had a soft spot, I guess, a little bit for them just because McConnell was on there. And, as a Sixers fan, I'm always going to love me some TJ McConnell. But I just fell in love with watching this team play since the end of April. I watched them a little bit here and there in the regular season. Knew what they were about. They're a high-paced, fast offense with a lot of guys that specifically can shoot the three. But man, just what they did this year in the playoffs, it was just really remarkable to see how they take over, especially in that Bucks series. The game winner there, and then again to see them punk Cleveland in Cleveland to go up 2-0. With the big three with the ball celebration. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's my type of guy right there. That's what I like to see out of a superstar. And just what everyone does on this team, the 3-point shooting from Nesmith, Nembhard being a great point guard and defender, Obi Toppin becoming more of a player, Miles Turner when he was actually scoring before the finals, McConnell obviously, just so many guys. There's so many guys on this team. Mathurin. Just so many guys, and obviously Haliburton, seeing what he did in the Knicks series, that shot again, and then the shot he does in the finals, and just the run that they even went on in the finals. Like after Game 6, I was really shocked to see that this team, not that they didn't win a championship, obviously, but they really started making me wonder, like, is OKC going to blow it? Because the momentum that Indiana had after Game 6 was just so crazy. And again, I just want to thank the Pacers for giving us NBA fans such a good product to watch this last couple months, because again, the NBA is not necessarily the best thing ever in the public eye right now, but for me as a pure hoop fan, like I just love watching basketball. It was just perfect. It was perfect. The drama was just crazy. The memories, the moments. I will always remember this postseason, and it will be defined by the Indiana Pacers and just the run that they went on, the dark magic, all that stuff, just everything. The Hallie shots, like I said, the Siakam dunk in Game 6. And shout out to Siakam as well. I mean, again, he balled out in his second finals. Just so much to be happy about. Obviously, again, super unfortunate that things ended the way they did, and it was in a Game 7 of the NBA Finals. But it's really hard for you now to say that you can't be proud of this team. No one expected this. They gave it everything they had, and it just came up a little bit short with some things that were really out of a majority of everyone on the team's control, and they had to deal with it, and it is what it is. But just wanted to say thank you to the Pacers for overall just the last 2 months of great basketball. I'll never forget it. But yeah, that's all I had on this one. I've been losing sleep occasionally for watching some of these games. I can't believe the NBA is over, but hey, it's been a marathon, a 2-month marathon of watching these playoffs. Every single spring, I'm reminded why I watch and love basketball, specifically at the professional level. At times, do I not watch the regular season as much? I'll be honest, I don't. There are certain times, I will, but it's not necessarily my main thing I'm thinking about, when I'm trying to watch games, except for the Sixers, but the Sixers suck. But man, I always lock in for the NBA playoffs, and it was just another year of me being like, yeah, I made the right decision. I made the right decision to spend this much time watching this game and just seeing how all these guys develop. Again, LeBron and Curry, they're going to be on their way out. The league is going to have to continue to develop these guys and put them in, the mainstream space. And I think this playoff run really did a great job of that. So just love the sport. I'll be continuing to break it down in the off season. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. If you have any thoughts on the finals down below, drop them in the comments. If you like my type of video, feel free to give it a like. And if you like my type of content, feel free to subscribe. I will be continuing to break down the NBA, as I said. We got NFL, we got baseball, we got soccer. We got a lot to talk about this summer. So stay with me if you're interested, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.